Thanks for jumping on the Dating with Katy podcast, where today I am talking about, and not that I agree with, tests that men and women do to each other in dating relationships. Now, guys, again, not a proponent of these, but they happen, and I want you aware and ready for when they come, and to ask yourself, am I doing these things? Because that is partly probably true. So first, make sure you subscribe, hit that button, send this to a friend. Make sure you go back and listen to my other podcasts. They're 15 minutes long, 1% of your day. You got time to become a better dater. This is a big, major part of your life, and I want you to get confident, be successful, and to have some fun dating. And I also want to thank my sponsor, Rater Date. That's RATERDATE. Go check them out. They have an app, and this is what I love about it. I love these new creative apps, and this one is... it's going to be for my 20%ers, the quality, cool people that are ready to date. The beauty of this app is that you can create your own singles events. Now, maybe you're not so into the one-on-one. Let's make it easy and fun. So you can create your own singles events. You can see instantly what their lifestyle is all about. Because look, at the end of the day, is it family? Is it fitness? Is it fun? Is it stuff? And then lastly, you get to rate them after you meet them. How great is that? Because then let's say it wasn't a perfect fit. The next person can actually know, were they authentic? Were they who they said they were? So go get that. That's rater.date. Well, let's move into today's topic. It blows my mind. This is what 80%ers do. And sometimes us 20%ers kind of throw these out there. And there's one that I did. I have to be honest. So you're going to see that in a minute. But it's just... this is part of the game of dating, and I talked about that in my last podcast. There's a skill set to dating. There is strategy to dating. There are timelines in dating. And again, just like a game, just like a basketball game or a rugby game, all of that is important too. So I'm going to get right into this one today because I think you guys will understand and see that these are red flags. These are what you don't want to be happening and you don't want to be doing on these first dates. And a lot of this rolls into relationships. So this is not a one and done kind of thing. Future forward in relationships, this is going to happen a lot. And it is better to learn to speak your mind and get clarity by using your words than by testing people. And I'm a big proponent that nobody reads your mind, especially ladies. Ladies, you always like to play the, well, he should have known game. No, he didn't know because you didn't tell him. So do not assume. Communicate more than needed, and really find out the details of that. I have a client right now. He's in a relationship. Actually, all my clients are in a relationship. It's exciting. And he is asking for clarity on some stuff. He calls me, and ladies, a lot of men don't have a lifeline. We have girlfriends. We call them. We get strategy. We vent. Guys, I know you don't always have that. So find a friend. Let me coach you. I do one-time coaching. I do monthly coaching. I think it's important that in this, game of dating, you have a coach. So I think what he did, he's in this great relationship. He really likes her. He calls me up and he says, Katy, I'm a little bit confused. She says one thing and then she does another. Let me give you the example. She says she doesn't want to rush into anything. She wants to take it slow. But then she brings up, oh, if we get married, I want a prenup and I only want my family there. Okay, why would she be doing that? Totally mixed message, and he is asking me for some advice. So how do we navigate these mini tests? First off, let's try not to do them. I said to him, next time you sit down with her, I want you to take notes. I want you to say to her, hey, look, this conversation that we're going to have, because she actually just said we need to have a serious conversation, even though she wants everything to be slow and light and fun. I want him to look like he is ready and willing, because he is, to do everything that she wants him to do to be in a great relationship with her. So I said, take notes, take a little sheet of paper, look at her in the eye and say, look, I want to make sure that I get everything down to what you're telling me and that I hear your heart, not just listen, but he hears her heart. And so this is going to be coming up. I'll give you an update later, but I really want him to have a strategy so he does it well and he does it right. So it's not a game. So she's not testing him so that it's super clear. She might need to even get more clear of what she's trying to say. And sometimes women kind of do that. They'll talk. The overthinkers will do that because even a male client of mine is that. He needs to talk it through to figure out his best solution. So let people do that. Write down bullet points, circle back with them, say, hey, so this is what I'm understanding. This is what I think you're saying. All right. So if someone's kind of a game player, a little tester, make sure they clarify exactly, and you can help them by taking notes for them. Okay, so let's go into some of these. The first one I'm going to talk about, and I think guys do this more than girls because guys want to see if women are jealous. Now, I'm sure that goes both ways, but guys will often bring up, and women do this too, the other sex. Talk about their buddies or their friends. I have a girlfriend. She was dating. She's now married to the guy because I made her change her Bumble age profile. I said date older, and now she is dating a guy who is 9 years older. She has a best friend, and she does a lot of stuff with her guy friend. And in the beginning stages of their dating, he had to really work through this best friend. Now, if you have a best friend that is of an opposite sex, they should quickly meet the person you're dating. That is only fair and right. And look, I'm not against it. I don't know if it's the best, but just make sure whoever any of your besties are, whether male, female, same sex, opposite sex, bring them in quickly so no one ever feels like they have to be competing for a space in that relationship. So she would talk about him. She would talk about Javon and about the stuff her and Javon would do. And you know, he is being tested right now, and guys do the same. Like, he might have a girlfriend who's a buddy. So that is one of the tests that people do. It's a little bit of a game, and I'm not a huge fan of it. But here's an example of how it can also happen accidentally. So my client is on a date, and he really digs this woman. They're at a beautiful place, and he was showing her pictures of his house. So on his phone, he's showing pictures to her, and she's swiping. Okay, dangerous. Even the man with the sign, the dude with the sign on Instagram, recently held up a sign that said, if I give you my phone to look at pictures, do not swipe. Now, obviously, my client gave the phone to his date. She is swiping because he's telling her to swipe, looking at pictures of his house. That's fine. Look, ladies, the quicker you know, the better you can vet, right? Is he messy? Is he dirty? Does he own this? I want to know. She's looking and she swipes one more, and unbeknownst to him, although he forgot, I'm sure, there is a photo of a woman in a bikini. And no woman wants to see that on a first date of another woman, like, ever. And sadly, not that that was a test, but it becomes a test because of the immediacy of what's happening in that moment. So what is she to do? I'm sure she played it cool, but I can tell you what, she didn't go on a second date with him. And the irony is, he didn't tell me this until a couple weeks later when I said, you know, she doesn't want a second date, and he was so sad. And then later on, weeks later, he says, oh, well, this other thing happened on the date. And guys, this is why I say there's three sides to every story. His side, her side, and the truth. Where are you traveling in 2023? You're traveling with me. You're traveling on the Dating with Katy single trips. Our first one will be in January to bring in the 2023 in warm weather, poolside, tequila shots, all included at the beautiful Breathless Resort. Bring your bestie, sign up, make it your Christmas gift to yourself, because in that middle of winter, you're going to be happy that you joined us. Space is limited. Then, if you want a more difficult trip, well, I say that as a pun, you're going to want to join us for 10 days in Tuscany, where we will be difficultly drinking wine, looking for truffles, sitting by the beaches, going through the small communities of Lucca and the churches and the bars, and everything is included in that trip as well. You will want to join me. Space is limited. Make sure you click, sign up, put your down payments, and I will see you in Cancun and in Italy. And that truth took a little while for my client to tell me. And I said, of course she's not going to go on a second date with you. That was ridiculous that even happened. So make sure that doesn't happen again. No testing, no pretend testing, and no accidental testing about jealousy. Number 2, do you remember my details? So I do this one. This was a standard test that I would give in dating, and I actually encourage you to do this, especially ladies. So we want to see if people are intentional about dating, intentional about us, and if they're really into us. And that will be a whole nother podcast. Like, is he into me? Is she into me? How do I know? This is a great opportunity. I have 3 kids, and I love my kids. And any single mom should love her kids. If somebody does not love their kids, and you know, I remember going on a date with a guy, and he says, yeah, I went on a date with a single mom, and she said she just hated her kids. I thought, run for the hills. You should not hate your children. They are a product of you. So I'm on a date with a guy. He's a lawyer. We go on a first date. We go on a second date. We go on a third date. Literally on the third date, we're sitting at the bar at Nobu. I say to him, so do you know the name of my 3 children? straight out, blunt, no surprise. That's how Katy is. Wouldn't necessarily say you should do it like that, ladies, but I think you could bring it up in conversation and make it cute and giggly. Like, so I'm going to ask, the name of my 3 children, or do you remember this? And straight out, he looked me in the eye. He not only told me all 3 of their names, he told me things about each one that I had said. And I'll tell you what, win-win. That was like a slam dunk in my book. He played that card well, and it was a great opportunity for me to know that he was into me. And one thing I will say, he was a lawyer, so he has learned to be a very good listener. And he taught me something. He said, Katy, always listen to your opponent. Always listen to the person across from you so you know what you're dealing with. So again, great strategy from my ex-lawyer. All right, number 3, and men do this and women do this. They're the same but different, so listen up. Men want to know if you're loyal. Women want to know if you're a cheater. And you will see this play out. Now, men will, and you're never going to say that per se, but you're going to ask about past relationships. And when you're asking about that past relationship, men will be listening for the fact, was she loyal? Women, you will be listening for the fact, did he cheat? But here's my suggestion. Do not talk about this on the first 3 dates. As a matter of fact, if somebody asks you, it's really not their business if you are a cheater, if you did cheat, if you're loyal. That should show up later in a relationship. And you should you always deserve a fresh start. So if you did cheat, if you got caught, if you got divorced from it, whatever the scenario is, and you're back out dating and you want to be a 20%er, one of my 20%ers who are cool, quality, and ready for a real relationship, then don't bring it up, because that's not who you are now. We can all change, and we all need to have grace and space to change. And if you bring it up too early, right away, red flags are going to go off in the other person's mind. Even if you say, I'm never going to do it again, I hate that I did it. Don't bring it up. It's not who you are. It's not who you want to be. And it's not good in the first few dates. That is something for a deeper conversation when you can explain what you did wrong and why you did it. And if you don't know why you did it, then you need to have some deep thought process behind your actions, because people are looking for EQ and they want to see that you've done the work to figure out who you are and how you're going to become better. So make sure you do that. Moving on, this is another male-female. Are you flexible? Men want to know, are you flexible? They'll kind of do that last minute, like, hey, let's go to this place, or hey, what are you doing on Saturday? But this is what drives women nuts, is because women are testing to see if you can make a plan. So both of you are just crossing each other on the freeway and nobody's happy. So guys, make plans with your woman. And ladies, be flexible with your guy. Right? I know you're all shaking your head. Every lady's like, yes, please make plans. Men are like, yes, can she be flexible? Super important on that. And this last one, I'm going to use 2 examples, great stories. This is the 5th one. Will he hear you, and will he make it happen? Women are testing you. For example, recently I was at the Cowboys Club, and they were doing the champagne sword where you sword it off and the champagne pops open. I'm with someone and I'm testing him, but I'm also trying to be feminine and stay in my feminine. So I'm like, hey, I'd really love to do that. Meaning, okay, if you can't read my mind, or slight directness of that is, I would like you to go up to the manager and get me the opportunity to go do that. Now, I know I could do that in my own right. I could easily walk up. I was looking smoking hot. I was super tan, white jeans, high heels. Like, who doesn't want to watch a cute girl knock that stuff off, right? So I was frustrated because I felt like I wasn't heard. So it was a slight bit of a test on my end, but it was also me trying to be in my feminine. So guys, are you hearing our heart? Are you just listening? Are you hearing us? And that is the test that we are going to give. Did he really hear me? Did he really get what I was saying? So again, if you need to take notes in a deep conversation with her, do it. Be an active listener, active participant. Ladies, if he wants to do that, allow it. Do not think it's a bad thing. It's a great thing. Those are practical tools, you guys, right there. Here's what men do to test you, ladies. They want to know, will you be their ride or die when shit happens? Every man is looking for the ride or die. There are plenty of women out there who are fluff, who will stick it out, who, when it's good, when he's got money, when things are fabulous, when he's traveling, I'll travel. Ladies, men are looking for quality, depth of character women, and this is a great example. A friend of mine was dating a woman, and now he's very wealthy. He was very generous with her. You know, and everything she wanted, she got. So at the same time, he's thinking, you know, I provide, I protect her, I take care of her. One time at his house, a whole glass had shattered from a storm. And he asked her, and they had been dating for over a year. He asked her, can you go by my house and check out the glass? I need to call the glass guy, but I need some help. This is what she said. She said, you know, I can't tonight. I have a happy hour with my girlfriends. Not a good response. As a matter of fact, he dumped her. He knew that at the end of the day, she was not a ride or die. Now, was that a test? Look, at the end of the day, that's life. That is a life test. And that was an opportunity for her to support him in whatever he needs, drop her friends, drop her happy hour, or do both, drive by, do that, and then meet up with the girls later. But he wanted to know that she would be there and do that for him. And these are just some of the tests that people are going to do. Make sure if you are doing these that they're quality tests. They're not the I'm insecure, therefore I need to see if you like me tests. Guys, make sure that you subscribe. DM me, email me, Dating with Katy. I want to hear more of your stories. Dating is so interesting, and I want to make sure that you guys are getting confident, having fun, and being successful. All right, we'll talk to you soon.